All right, welcome everybody. We want to say special welcome to all of our students that are here and all of our family members that are here and all of the community members. We're so glad that you've joined us tonight for our board meeting. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we're going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance. And Maddie,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great to have all the voices speaking that tonight. Next up is our roll call attendance. Madam Clerk, Director Diamond,
Present.
Director Kelly, here. Director Watts, here. President Levesque, present. Director Knapp, here. Student Advisor Van Beek, here. Student Advisor Phillips, here. Superintendent Sweetie, here. Thank you. And next we'll have our approval of our regular meeting agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to change from our agenda tonight? Or do we have a motion to approve it as presented?
I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second. It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Knapp to approve the agenda as presented. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond?
Aye.
Director Kelly?
Aye.
Director Watts? Aye. President Levesque? Aye. Director Knapp? Yes. Thank you. The agenda is approved. Next up is our regular meeting approval. Or approval of our minutes from our regular meeting on May 11th. Do we have any changes? Or do we have a motion to approve the May 11th meeting minutes?
I make a motion to approve the May 11th board meeting.
I'll second. It's been moved by Director Kelly and seconded by Director Watt to approve the May 11th meeting minutes. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond?
Yes.
Director Kelly?
Aye.
Director Watts?
Yes.
President Levesque? Aye. Director Knapp? Yes. Those meeting minutes are approved, which brings us to our presentation portion of our meeting. And we're very excited to welcome a student presentation tonight, our President's Elementary Ukulele Club. And we would like to welcome Jamie Miller. Is she here? As principal of President's Elementary School, and Elsa Lund with the third graders from the Ukulele Club. And
Yes.
welcome.
So first, I just want to thank the parents who brought their students to play for us tonight and the students for using their time on a school evening to come and do this presentation with me. So first, I'm going to talk a little bit about a field trip that we took as a club. So we went to Pacific Rim Tone Woods, which is up in Sedro-Woolley. And it's a mill where most of the soundboards for all Martin and Taylor guitars are made. So if you know those brands, they are the top guitar brands in the world. And at Pacific Rim Tone Woods, they cut all the soundboard wood and ship it to the guitar factories. So we got to see every part of the process of the creation of soundboard wood. So you can see some of the shots of us seeing different parts of the mill. There's Zola inside the kiln, which is where they dry out the wood before shipping it to guitar factories in places like Germany and Mexico and different parts of the United States. And I'm going to have a few of the students share. Oh, and this is the bowl robot. So one of the things that they're also doing is because there's fewer guitars sold nowadays, they're trying to diversify their business by creating wooden bowls as well. So we got to see this robot that creates wooden bowls, which was very cool. And this organization, Pacific Rim Tone Woods, they're also involved in reforestation. They have maple orchards here in Washington. They also have koa orchards in Hawaii. So they're also focused on building the orchards of tone woods for the next generation, other than just making instrument parts. So if we want to go back there, while we're looking at this beautiful picture of us at the Tone Woods Mill, I have a few students that are going to say a couple things about our field trip. Connor, do you want to go first? You can stand up.
Our visit to Pacific Tonewood was so much fun.
And Kincaid, what would you like to say?
The town wide smell was a really pretty place. There was a bunch of nice people there. They answered all of our questions.
And Kyler?
I thought it was cool to see how they cut the wood and then shaped it before sending it to the guitar factory. I also liked seeing the bull robot and how they put the wood into a machine and it chips it into a bowl.
And Oshka?
Like to see how they counted all the rings of the wall, see how old the tree was before they split it into guitar.
So thank you so much for sharing, you guys. Can we give them a round of applause? So lastly, our club is going to perform for you The Best Day of My Life by the American Authors. If you know the song, you're free to sing along with us. And we're all going to turn our chairs a little bit so we can see that screen right there. And then we'll get started. So if you want to turn your chair around.
I don't stop I stretch my hands out to the sky. We dance with monsters through the night. I'm never gonna be back. No, I'm never gonna give it up. No, please don't break me now. 2, 3, 4. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. This is gonna be the best day of my life. C chords, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, F. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. 2, 3, 4. I have friends and but all the possibilities, no limits to bring I'm never gonna want that. Whoa, I'm never gonna give it up. No, please, no. Now stop. 2, 3, and speed. This is gonna be the best day of my life.
Do they own the ukuleles, or is that something that that is sponsored for the students?
The school had the class set of ukuleles when I started teaching there 4 years ago.
So they stay with if you're in the group, the ukulele is part of it.
And also we use them during regular music class as well. They're just the students who have signed up to do extra practice.
That is very cool. Great instrument. Just carry it with you and.
And both grade size for third graders to play as well.
I have a question. Was that so fun? Yeah. It was really fun to listen to.
Yeah.
You did a great job. Thank you guys for sharing.
Thank you.
It was
Could you put your instrument down and grab Ophelia's crutches for her? And hand them to her?
Anybody else got any questions?
How often do you meet to do your group?
So we meet on Fridays during lunch recess.
Oh, you guys, oh, very nice.
And we've been meeting for about the past month or so.
Really, that's all.
And this is a club that I am presenting just near the end of the year so that they can get a feel for what it's like to participate in an extracurricular. And then when they're in 4th and 5th grade, they have the opportunity to perform with choir or drumming club, which we have more performance opportunities for.
Sure, always a good start.
How many of you think might do band?
Yeah, good.
What about choir?
Choir's good too. Music, just.
Let them let them
Yeah.
That's right, do everything, that's right. Very nice, you sound very collected. Thank you for picking a familiar song.
And thank you parents for supporting them and bringing them. Very appreciated. Great. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
You guys look great here. That's the ones that you see. And then someone grab Ophelia's for her since she can't.
I got you. Oh, yeah, I got one.
And families are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but they don't have to.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's really stuck in my head and I'm thinking it's all like.
It's a new flavor, doesn't it?
Oh. You can see faces. All right, thank you for your patience during the transition. Next up, we have another recognition, and we're going to be recognizing our parent group. Dr. Sweeting, do you want to get us started with that?
Hi. Trying to see if there's representatives from the parent groups, that be our Boosters Club, our PTAs.
There's Britt.
Okay.
We're all, we're gonna hold it up.
Multi-layered.
I'm so glad you're gonna hear from me again. Why don't you just go up there? Erica's, band boosters.
Hold on, band boosters. A lot of different representation. So last Thursday night, we had Sundays with the superintendent, and it was a representation from the parent groups. And we had quite a few, I'd say 20 some. We reminded them about this event tonight, but I'm sure they're very busy. But the main idea here is that we want everybody to be engaged, but especially those that have said, I want to be involved in the schools, and we want more people to be involved in the schools. So this was a night that we started several years ago to just say thank you to our many parent support groups. And there's many, we have Gridiron, we have Boosters, we have PTAs, we have PTSAs, and then there's ones that don't, just called parent group. So we have so many, and I have something I'll get to have, because you have been, awesome. You get a kind bar for being so kind. Button and some. There you go. Kind bar. And a bar. And. There you go. And the one thing I would say about, we cannot do this alone. We need to have the support of our parent groups. And if you read through the minutes or you come to the board meetings, you know that there are so many donations. We have a donation tonight for one of the parent groups. but they are awesome. And we just have a small presentation, but it's awesome. Thank you for, thanks, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you for recognizing our parent groups. They do so much for our community and our kids and our schools. Next up, we have another special recognition that we're very excited about. It's our WASA SNOIL 109 Honorary Awards Recognition event. And Dr. Sweeting is going to speak to that. And this one, you need somebody to hold all the stuff, or you
I'm
got
gonna
it?
go down there and open it to you.
This is very exciting.
Okay. So every year, through the Washington State Association of Administrators, there are different awards that are given out, and they're very special. The first person I'm gonna talk about, first two people are students. Several years ago, probably 3 years ago, the WASA decided to add this as one of the awards. So it's a Student Leadership Award. Maddie, will you come on down? She's coming down. Yay. Right there. Right there. But this award, it actually started 3 years ago, I was right. We will have her name engraved on this plaque. I'll be there, for as long as we have this plaque, and you can see that it was 3 years ago that we started this award. So what we said about Maddie was that we are just honored to acknowledge you, Maddie, for your leadership. She serves as a senior advisor to the board, and she is an active member of our board. She attends board meetings, study sessions, and workshops. She works alongside elected officials, represent the needs and perspectives of students. She provides advisory votes and helps the board to make better decisions. Maddie's leadership and positive influence across her own high school, Weston High School, has made a difference, and throughout the district, it's notable. Maddie, you are more than amazing. Next, Noah Amakosa. Amakosa is not here, but he is another student that we are recognizing, and Noah is a senior at Arlington High School. Noah is being honored because he serves on a variety of roles, as well as Maddie, but he serves on the Student Advisory Council, the District Community Equity Team, and he's currently the ASB president for Arlington High School. Noah is a student leader who looks for ways to create opportunities and better access to resources for all students, but especially minorities and immigrants. He provides valuable student perspective and engages with other students, staff, and community members to discuss important issues that are facing students today. And his leadership is inspiring. I wish he was here. I have his, he will receive, like Maddie, I think you already have yours, Maddie, but I have Noah's plaque that he'll receive. And his name too will be put on the plaque. So there'll be two names. So let's give him a hand. The next award goes to a leader in our district, Andrea Dixon Hunter Marks. She is the principal at Weston High School. She's not able to attend tonight, but we just want to say she's awesome in every way. The message here says that we're pleased to honor Andrea Dixon Hunter Mark, for she is passionate and she's an advocate for students, and she provides ways to achieve measurable success. And it's through the CAP program, the Credit Achievement System, the plan that they have, and we heard about that during the study session. And it's where staff monitor student progress monthly rather than waiting until the end of a semester to earn credit. She has changed the culture and increased attendance and student success. Andrea boldly seeks viable and innovative educational learning opportunities for all students. Andrea is worthy of this award. And her name will go on, so we have student leadership. And we have this has been, the leadership, the leader that is for student achievement has been since 2014. So her name will be added to that list of 2014. The next, the final one here is our Community Leadership Award. And so this one, actually, we have been awarding since 2013. So for several years. So the next award goes to Stillaguamish Tribe of Indians. And so I'd like to. So I'll move over here so you guys can be all right, President. So I'm going to read what was put together to honor the tribe and just the partnership that is in motion, hopefully being even more fully developed. Arlington School District honors the Stillaguamish Tribe of Indians for their generous and ongoing partnership. Through this partnership, fourth grade students can participate in authentic cultural experiences at the Stillaguamish Tribal Community Center. Each August, members of the Stillaguamish Education and Cultural Departments welcome, share drum songs, and provides wisdom to all staff during district day. And this is awesome. So there's like 700 of our staff in the Burns Performing Arts Center, and that's the very first thing that starts off that day and starts off the school year, the new school year. So it's close. Throughout the year, we collaborate and share ideas, including working on ways to incorporate the Stillaguamish rich culture, history, and traditional ways into the district's sense time and memorial curriculum. It is with great honor, pride, and gratitude that we celebrate and thank the Stillaguamish Tribe of Indians today. Thank you. And they are going to share a drum song, and Deidre Shipley is their supervisor.
I do have a little speech that I wanted to share. I had it ready for last Friday, but it was quick on the stage, off the stage at the event. Good afternoon. My name is Deidre Shipley. I am the Cultural Resource Supervisor for the Stillaguamish Tribe of Indians. I am here with my cultural department, Jordan, Amanda, Ray, Zach, and our youth service department is also here.
Well, you should come up.
Representation. It is an honor to be nominated for this award. After many years of providing in-class outreach to the Arlington schools, we began hosting the fourth grade field trip in 2016. Initially, the focus was on President's Elementary, where that is where many of our children attend. Over the years, it has grown in include all Arlington elementary schools, as well as Lakewood and Stanwood. The Stillaguamish have strived to share who we are with our community, our history, and our songs, dance, and language, as well as traditional crafts and art. Over the years, we have watched what was a small partnership with President's Elementary grow into a strong relationship with the Arlington School District. This is a result of many years of dedication on both sides, the Arlington School District and the Stillaguamish Tribe. And we look forward to continuing this partnership and strengthening our community in many years to come. Thank you. Now Ray is going to lead us in our appreciation song.
This song, the appreciation song, I for one of the first projects we started, or when I got hired on, was the fourth grade field trip, and ever since, like, I was hired on, Stillaguamish Tribe has always believed in me to step up, and the things that I've learned, I wouldn't be the same person that I am today without their backing of me, you know, and I can contribute that to the leadership that I have, you know, and I'm super grateful just to be a part of the tribe. And I'm not still Squamish, but I have still Squamish children, and it's one of the biggest things that I can see. He goes to the President's Elementary, he goes to Caillou, and I can't wait till he gets to come to the fourth grade field trip. And every year and as it's grown, it's a whole month long event that happens, and we're like, so I just know that, we're gonna sing this song in appreciation of that event, but I'm singing this song in appreciation of the tribe, because I really wouldn't be this person that I am today without the lifting me up. So appreciation song. And I just want to say one more thing too. It's funny, I was thinking in my brain right now that we were going through some of the fan mail that we get from the kids today, because they send us letters, and we had Eagle Creek send us stuff today, and we got it in the mail, and we were just reading through it as we're doing stuff, and it's just just fun to see all that kind of stuff. So I was asking Zach today, I was like, so what are you gonna do to contribute to the fourth grade field trip? And he's like, I'll do a weaving exhibit. I'm like, okay, man. So we're just ever expanding, and we know that since time immemorial also is ever expanding and always evolving thing that we are involved in. And so I just want to thank you guys too. Also,
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a kind part.
Yes.
Three wants to sing.
You're also kind.
Wow, that was incredible. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tribe, for sharing. Feels like homecoming.
I know. Play faces.
This next part of our meeting would be our public comment portion of our meeting, but I don't think there's anyone that signed up to speak. We receive it. Next up is our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second that.
It's been moved by Director Watson, seconded by Director Diamond to approve the consent agenda. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond?
Aye.
Director Kelly?
Aye.
Director Watts?
Yes.
President Levesque? Aye. Director Knapp? Aye. The consent agenda is approved. That brings us to our new business portion of our meeting. Thank you, Eric. The first thing is our report of donations approved by our superintendent.
So this is an example of the parent group generosity. So the donation that I approved during May was from SVLC's parent club. And it was to SVLC for the 5th grade camp, and it was in the amount of $2,291. Thank you. Parent group from SVLC.
And next up is our Student Advisory Council, our SAC annual report. I'd like to welcome up Carrie Helgeson, our Director of Special Education 9 through 12 plus and student support and members of our Student Advisory Council.
Very much. We're very excited to present to you. We also need to work on shortening my title.
It's perfect.
It's a tongue twister, right?
It's a.
Right, so I have 3 students here with.
Around this way.
It's just like,
It's chair.
you're not gonna buy.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we always love for students to be able to share about their work in the year because it really is their committee. Chris and I are just the ones that get to facilitate and join in on what their goals and what they want to achieve this year. We also, Erica and Matt join us as well as Nikki Anderson from Arlington High School. And we have about 30 students total on the committee and those students are comprised of all of our other district committees, the budget advisory, the ACE committee, the technology, DSET, special ed advisory, the board. And then they're with their committee once a month, but then they also come once a month to all come together and figure out what their goals are. The past couple of years, we have focused on mental health and done some amazing things that you'll hear a little bit about tonight. But this year was a little bit different, a little bit of a twist, and next year they already have some plans in place. So there's movers and shakers. So I'm going to have them each introduce themselves and what year you are and what other committee you represent.
I'm Nicholas Blaken. I'm a sophomore at Arlington High School and I represent ACE.
I'm Alessandra Selden. I'm a senior at Arlington High School. And
Just one switch. The student advisory company.
okay, my name is Myra Cruz and I represent DSET. And I'm a senior in high school.
All right, here we go. So the next slides. So Alex is also on, she comes to the student advisory committee. And the slide that you just saw that will be back up in a moment was sunglasses are a big deal with high school students and teenagers. And so she brought back the goodie bags that she got from the WASDA conference with the sunglasses and other goodies in them. So we always have to get a sunglass picture. And then the next slide, please. Oh, I have that somewhere. Sure here. Okay. So I'm going to have the students kind of take it over from here and talk about what we accomplished. Oh, yeah, I have them. What we accomplished this year with Student Advisory Committee. And Allie's going to talk about the welcome kits. Okay, take it away.
So this year, at the start of the year, we were brainstorming on what groups we feel like need some attention or like where we view problems at the school. And we came to, we had a huge list and we kind of narrowed it down and voted on which ones we wanted to like do a project for. And I had brought up the idea, I moved to the school district my sophomore year. And I felt like I really wanted something to welcome me to the school. I kind of felt a little bit invisible for like starting out in this new school. And I proposed an idea that we make like a welcome bag or something to give to the students just so they have resources on where to go and what events or like clubs they can join. So we voted on that and we made these goodie bags. There's 2 different ones, one for, I think this one's the Weston one, no. And then this is the Arlington High School. And we brainstormed what to put in the bags. And the first thing we put in the bags was this flyer that says, "Welcome to Arlington High School" on it. It says, "Hello, we're glad you're here." And if you open it, we thought it was important to put the fight song for Arlington High School, the Go Iron. On Red Eagles, because that's a big part of our school. Then we have all of our clubs on there. There's a ton of them. So if anybody's interested in that when they come to the school, there's also the music programs and National Honor Society, Photography Club, and robotics, and then more of that. And it has a photo of all of us. And I thought that was pretty neat, just a little welcome. And then we also put just a little note that says, "Welcome to Arlington High School. We're glad you're here." And we signed all of these. And then the best part, a lot of candy in here, especially Nerds Clusters, which
The best.
are our favorite. And dots. I really like dots. Not a lot of people like dots, but I really like dots. And we put buttons. So it's a nice gesture. And I feel like when I moved here, if I had just a little welcome basket, I would have been like, wow, this is my new home. So yeah, and then in the Weston, similar idea. Welcome to Weston High School. Hello, we're glad you're here. And this one has a dog and Mabel, and it has health fairs. It also has a photo of us, and it has vending machines, a club, and health fair on it. Just another little thing. And it also has the buttons and candy as well. That was a little about our welcome.
So one thing we've talked about is, so for every new student to the district that's either attending Arlington High School or Weston will get one of the bags. But then having a student representative give them the bags and give them a tour of their new. Nice. So that's going to be in addition to that. And then at every meeting, we have the students have an opportunity to share some student topics, so some burning questions or wonderings or issues that they're seeing around their building. So these are just a couple of topics. One of them really this year was about the high school workload and how to handle that stress. Does anybody want to talk?
And so at every meeting, there's like a little card that tells us like what we're thinking about, or if we see like any topics we want to bring up and discuss. And one of them was a lot about like the workload and stress, like you were talking about. And we were kind of navigating on like how we can help with that, and if we could do like mentorships or anything like directed towards that. And just, it was nice to have conversations discussing and coming up with opportunities that we could have to try and show how you can navigate through the workload and stress in high school, because it is a difficult time with a lot of things happening, but there is resources, and it was nice to talk about that. We also talked about advisory. I think that was being
Some
on.
suggestions around
Yeah.
advisory.
Yes.
To balance that high school workload and stress was a big one.
Yes.
What could we add into advisory time
Yeah.
that they can help with that?
Yeah, we had more discussions about that. We had a couple of discussions on the parking lot. I feel like whenever you ask about the high school and people's complaints, it's the parking lot or the Wi-Fi. We get that a lot. But we were talking about it, discussing different ways. I think there was one where this person from Everett was looking at it or something like that.
The other
And-
thing is that the students all shared that the parents were the biggest issue in the parking lot, not them. So, yeah. That was
Yeah.
Another big piece that we did this year was we researched some mentorship programs and opportunities. That was another, between the welcome kits and the mentorship, those were really the two that came out. When we did some research on mentorship, everything really costs money, right? So we came down to really discussing, with what we have, how can we still provide some mentorship within our current programs in our schools? So that will probably continue into next year. A couple other things. Let's talk about the survey question, feedback. Nicholas, want to talk about that?
Sure. So some of the district surveys that get sent out, we were able to just look through them and help comb through the questions that the district is asking, help prune them down, or help add ones that we thought would be relevant. Or, rephrase some of the repeated words, go through Mr. Sable's endless questions about various tech issues. There's a lot of Gary Sable tech issues in there.
We blamed it all on you, Gary.
That's okay. But yeah, we just helped look through and just see what we thought would be actually worth asking district students and parents and just people in the district.
And then the ASB card information was something that was started last year. And the Stille Valley Health Connections supported that financially, is providing the information that the students thought was important to have at the student fingertips. And then we revisited that this year and said, is there any additional information we want to share? Alex is passing hers around to you guys right now. Is there any additional information that we should add on there? And then this year, Smoky Point Behavioral Health is going to fund the back of that. So we added their contact information as well, so.
It's much better than it was because
It's still on the front, really teeny tiny, but it's big on the back.
Yeah.
I don't need my,
Right, you're right. I need your cheaters.
yeah.
The other component of what the Student Advisory Committee works on is really getting that student involved in the community. And this is a couple of pictures from the Mental Health Forum that we're going to talk more about here in just a moment. And another one is peer-to-peer training. So this has been going on for about 3 years now. And out of our current 29 students on Student Advisory Council, 17 of them have attended this peer-to-peer. It's an all-day training at the ESD in Anacortes. I'm gonna have Alex share a little bit about you. I think you were one of the first groups that went. Just talk a little bit about what that day looks like.
A very long day. You drive up all the way to Anacortes, and then you spend the whole day going I think they really focus on the say no ideas and how to also teach other people that. It's like the main idea is how do you talk to other peers and kind of be able to teach. They give you like basically a slideshow that you're meant to be able to teach to other students. I don't think we've had much success yet going to other places, but I know we have to talk about maybe going to middle schools. Have been the conversations. But I'd love to get more of our students trained, especially with the media literacy. I think that and coping with stress, since we talk about that so much in SAC, I think maybe, spreading those more and maybe going to middle schoolers, especially 8th graders with that as they transition to high school.
This year it was in October, and we only did a high school one instead of the 2 years prior, they did a middle school version and a high school version. So I'm not sure what they're going to do next year, but that is through the United General Hospital funding. So, and then Arlington Youth Coalition, Myra has attended a couple of these meetings, so she's going to share what we do there.
So in the year that I was in the Arlington Youth Coalition, the main thing that we talked about is how to like bring light to the abuse of state substances and like how we could put that information out to the people that need it the most. So the main thing that I take away from it is that like during community events or during like situations or scenarios where we would like go and ask questions, we were mainly looking for like feedback from people that like could have like the most like input on the issue. That way we would know like how best to like attack the situation. There we kind of like shared a lot of like personal stories. That way we were like aware of like all the different scenarios that could be leading up to substance abuse. And so I like see them a lot like during tabling events at the high school. There's definitely like involvement there. They like ask students who are they like meet students where they are, so that like if there's a student that wants to share or that is in need of resources, there's always that option if like they're tabling at a high school. And for like the tabling events, there's always like resources on what the substance abuse can look like, how to like look for it. And around the school, there are posters that kind of like say what resources you can use, because not everybody needs the same resources. And basically that's like the whole thing of the coalition, is to bring the information to where the people are at rather than have a coalition and then have the information and then wait for it to come.
So the very first meeting the Arlington Youth Coalition was 2 years ago and we did not have any students on the committee, and we were looking at data and brainstorming all these things that we can do to help the youth within what we saw within the surveys that we had given. And then the next meeting we brought in the student voice and the youth, and we're like, yeah, we didn't know anything about what they're needing and wanting. So we totally switched gears and everything, but that is one place that they really appreciate that student voice. And so they also had some survey questions that the coalition had come up with that we had in the student survey piece this past year. So now they're analyzing that data and that will guide their work for next year. Right, and then another community outreach are the mental health forums, and Myra and Alex are going to talk about these. About what has happened there. So we have hosted 3. Last year, we did 2 mental health forums, one in the fall, one in the spring, and then this year there was one in March. You can see up here who has participated in those, so it's more than just students. And I want them to share about their experiences with mental health.
Yeah, so okay, so basically we're put into like different tables with like a variety of people. If I remember correctly, I was in a table with Elena Tuchel, which is a junior, so she's an underclassman of mine, and I was there with 3 other adults, and we basically discussed and brainstorm like what could be the problems that students are like facing nowadays and what can we do about it, like what solutions and we like think about. And basically we had like a few like good 20 minutes to discuss these questions, and after that we would discuss it as like a whole, and it was really eye-opening. It was definitely also very personal to a lot of us. A lot of us got to like share like things that we personally encountered, and I think that was the thing that we need most in the community, because we all live here, we all like kind of interact with each other, and what happens to one of us could be happening to another one of us. So it's like it's really amazing to sit and listen to what our fellow community members are going through.
After that, yeah. I think we really focus on not only mental health, but also like how are students dealing with nicotine abuse as well as marijuana abuse. And kind of look into that, and it feels like a very much there's no judgment there, especially from the adults, which I think is really helpful to the kids, especially when talking about experiences or their friends' experiences. I think this is the biggest one we had yet, which is really amazing and had the most, I think, participation to say. And I know that for next year, we are planning to do a joint one with Lakewood. And I'm excited to see how our students can bond together in a zone where they feel like they're not judged and they're just able to talk honestly to each other.
So some of the top mental health issues that came out that students are facing that was shared at the mental health forum are pressures and expectations, the shrinking support system, they feel it's getting smaller, peer interactions, anxiety, workload, that also came up at the Student Advisory Council as an issue that they wanted to talk about, isolation, how, this is from students, how adults can help is just to listen. A lot of it is you don't need to have an answer, you don't need to respond. We really just want to have a listening board. Offer mentorships, connect them to resources, and then really expand activities in the community, which that also ties into what Arlington Youth Coalition's goals are, is how do we support students in our community and give them more safe places to go on the weekends, Friday nights. That was one of the questions that was asked on the student surveys. All right. Nicholas is going to talk about the final, and then I want each of them to share what they like most about Student Advisory Committee. So the 4.
So for our last meeting that we had earlier this May, it was just kind of like a final farewell. We just did our final, like, is there anything else we want to talk about? And then we moved into the Saran wrap ball. Our group kind of took forever, but basically you put on oven mitts and you were given this like foot by foot ball of Saran wrap, and it had a bunch of random stuff just thrown in there, and you had to somehow unravel it while another person was rolling dice to try and take it from you. And it was just for an hour straight as you tried to do this. It was a lot of fun. It was a great way just to end the year and send off our seniors. And I'm really just glad I'm able to participate in such an amazing group.
You want to share about?
Yeah, as you can see, it's very serious. You can see me picking out my candy with great intent, and I'm hunched over the table. Get this. the thing I loved most about SAC this year was just having a place to talk about issues and to listen to other people's and just actually brainstorming on how to get things done. I thought it was really cool to initiate and follow through on projects that we made ourselves.
You want to come back?
I kind of agree with Ally. I really appreciate how SAC gives us purpose and it gives us something to work towards. And that we actually have a goal in mind and we're not just sitting there talking like a bunch of pretentious people, that we actually we try to get things done. We try to find ways to solve problems in our community and for our schools.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about SAC was that it gave me a platform to speak on. I know that Alex and I were, when we were in middle school, we were definitely very opinionated and we definitely wanted to do something for like our school, our community, like our. But unfortunately, because we were really young and we were not very knowledgeable about the fact that there was a school board to be involved with, we could only do so much. And I went to high school and I signed up for a student advisory council. I definitely was so glad and so relieved that there was a platform that I could actually be on that could lend me the power to speak, I guess. And I feel like that's very important to the youth of today, is that most of us kind of feel that we don't really have a voice in important matters such as the ones that we discuss, like substance abuse and how to tackle mental health in students. And so it's definitely, I'm very grateful that SAC has given us that opportunity.
You took all the words out of my mouth. I think exactly that. I think it just gives a voice to our students in a way where they feel, like I said before, there's no judgment and they can honestly speak their mind about how they feel about what's going on in their schools. And I think that it gives them real world experience on how to deal with kind of community organizing, as well as how to actually make a project, execute it, and how do you look at the data afterwards. I think it's amazing that we've also opened it up to 6th grade because like you said, we didn't have that in middle school. So it's really nice that our other students are able to start younger and make an actual impact in their schools.
Then we have 7 seniors out of our 30 students that will be going off into other lands. So we just wanted to honor them publicly and thank them for the time that and their voice that they've given us on the Student Advisory Council.
And you come give them a kind word.
Then we'll open it up to questions after they get their kind bar, or you could ask questions while they're getting their kind bars.
I don't have a question, but I got to participate in the mental health forum and I was just really blown away about how vulnerable our students were in sharing and the topics I got to be with you. So the topics were really wow, they're talking about this. And it was eye-opening on what we really needed for our community. But just thank you for being vulnerable and being a part of this group. Allowing others to be free to talk is a huge gift.
Any other questions? I want to say thank you for speaking up for our kids, for all students in our district and helping every voice be heard and to treat everybody kindly. It's really important. That community connection continues as you grow up and graduate, even until you're like a senior citizen in the retirement home. There will still be opportunities for you to speak up and collaborate with your peers and make the world a better place. So I hope you continue to do that.
From seniors. What's been great? Firstly, how long have both of you guys been on it?
I've been on for 1 year.
And you?
I've been 2
years?
years.
For sure, 2 years.
What's been your biggest takeaway? Now you're graduating, what are you doing that's taking what you learned in the last 1 to 2 years and how are you applying that to your college experience or just life experience on this?
For me, I'm not really talking to underclassmen and middle schoolers often. So I think just communicating with other age groups other than my own was pretty eye-opening to me because I communicate with I was on ASB vice president. And so I communicated with adults all the time and I felt I don't know, very grown. And when I was with middle schoolers, I was like, oh my gosh, I was one of them one time and I just thought it was cool to see their experiences and bringing me back to kind of that time of my life.
Well, me personally, ever since I was like a little girl, I've always been like really obsessed and very passionate about law. And so being involved in like the school district has made me feel like a bit more professional. I feel like I can like understand and regulate a conversation with an adult or with someone that has like an age gap with me. 'Cause normally, I feel like especially when we were in middle school, I feel like I could say something and it would be like pushed aside because I probably wasn't that very knowing at that time. But now that I can like sit down with an adult and have a conversation about things that affect both our lives, I think that's definitely gonna help me communicate and like resonate in the future as a lawyer.
Any other questions? Are we gonna have a student advisory council along group? Yes, I've been talking about, we have them right here.
They come back after, they get their holiday to come visit us, so we might have to have our last meeting later in the year, so
Yeah.
come back and enjoy the saran wrap ball.
The alums versus the current.
Right.
It's current. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Next up is our Budget Advisory Task Force report. And we would like to welcome Gina Zudenhorst, our Executive Director of Financial Services, and members of our Budget Advisory Task Force.
Yeah, so here we are, and this is the first time that we've been able to come and have a little bit of a report back to the board. So excited to do this, and I want to really thank first the two members of our Budget Advisory Task Force committee that are here to present. So Britt Simon, and she's a member of the Budget Advisory Task Force and has been for quite some time since we've been meeting since the beginning of the 22-23 school year, fiscal year. And she wears several hats working within the district and for the district and as a parent and community member and on many of the things. So, and then we have Mark Rawson, and he is also a parent, previous parent, community member, lots of different hats, still very involved, has been on the Budget Advisory Task Force since the beginning as well, and previous board member. Yay. So I'm really thankful for these two for the time that they've spent and that they're willing to come and share out a little bit of what the experience has been like on the Budget Advisory Task Force and more about the Budget Advisory Task Force. And I think we've got the record up, and so we'll start with that. Britt, kind of take it away at the beginning.
First, I just want to point out that's my son. He's really proud that he got to be in the videos you're going to see in a few minutes. So the Budget Advisory Task Force is a district-led advisory group that was started the 22-23 school year as we were kind of going into some of these rounds of budget cuts that we have been facing the last several years as a way to reach out to other people in the community and stakeholders to kind of get some feedback and work through some of our challenges. So members have been given the opportunity to kind of learn more about how financing works in the school district, where our funds come from, and kind of what those rules and parameters are, and take some time to give feedback to district leadership about our priorities, make recommendations to the superintendent and our executive director of finance. So our membership makeup consists of community members, family members, which we've got parents and grandparents, certificated staff, classified staff. We have representation from both our teachers and our public school employees unions, a couple of administrators, and then we do have a few student advisors as well that are part of this group. And we get together and learn a few times a year.
All right, so I'm here to talk a little bit about topics we covered this year. All of these topics are near and dear to my heart. I loved being on the board. I loved dealing with these issues. I loved learning about how school district finances go together. As Gina will tell you, I had lots and lots of questions. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a very important part of our community, and the financing and all the challenges that go into running a district. We're one of the largest employers here in the community, and to keep it all together and keep producing this fabulous music program and everything we heard today is just really, really important. So year's budget, very important. The budget. We talk about making sure that we're always on target. Gina keeps us on target. How do we make sure that what we're telling people we're going to spend, we actually spend, and having no surprises, right? It's really important that whatever we say we're going to do, we actually do. Part of that for the community is to be able to communicate where the money's going, how it's being spent, both from a ongoing budget perspective for operations and maintenance, as well as all capital stuff. There's lots of different pieces that go into this. Timelines, the school district runs on a clock. There is a schedule. The money comes in through our tax bases in different times of the year, and how we finance that. You can imagine if you have a paycheck every month and you know how much you're paying your bills every month, you can budget. We don't get money every month. So budgeting and being able to manage when the inflows are coming in and when the money's going out is really important. The financial health of the district is so important, but it's not just us, right? So there's 12 other districts that are currently having financial difficulties here in Snohomish County, right? Much less across the other 296 districts across the state. So this is the most important time. You know, if you're rolling in the money and you've got billions of dollars and you're trying to decide, you know, how you name a building, and that's your biggest problem, right? That is not our biggest problem, right? So money is tight. Budgets are important, and the hard decisions that all of you have to make on the board. My heart goes out to you because these are not easy decisions to make as far as how our limited dollars are being spent and where cuts have to be made. So I having been on the board, I can appreciate what weighs on you from a community perspective to make these harder decisions. Planning for the reductions in 26 and 27. Again, we're having to go into this saying, we can't just say, oh, we're out of money, close the district down, right? We have to plan and we have to create difficult decisions. And then once we make those decisions, hold ourselves accountable to those actual decisions. So we've engineered through some very difficult times in the last few years, and going forward, we have engineered a soft landing. We have been able to, by the skin of our teeth, make it through and come through these difficult times post-COVID and the reductions in student enrollment. And again, it's a testament to your guys's management that we've been able to fly this ship with very little gas through all of these hoops and make it through. So we have to continue to plan for the 26-27 budgets, really important. And obviously, the state legislature is impacting school budgets every other year with whatever's going on. Consistently underfunding schools, right, across the board in a myriad of different topics. I know that Sherry Kelly and I were active on the legislative committee and trying to influence the state legislature. And I just want to say to everyone that's part of this, these are really important topics, and we would love to have your input on all of these topics going forward.
Great. So one of our projects this year, after a lot of conversation in our groups the last couple of years, is we've had an opportunity on this committee to learn a lot about where does our school funding come from and why do we have the rules we do and where does that money go and we spend it. But the majority of our community stakeholders, those taxpayers, don't understand how that works. And so we, as a group, had to kind of discuss, like, let's kind of make almost like some little commercials and try to educate our larger community on how this works. We decided to break it into two categories. So we did an ABCs of school funding. So that's going to be your basics of where our money is coming from and what are those main funding sources and why. And then also talk a little bit about capital projects, because we get asked a lot like, well, you asked us for, a levy last year. So what are those capital project levy funds going to, and where can our community members actually see it in the open? Whenever we've gone out for a bond or levy measure, we tend to get a lot of these questions. Like, can you tell us, why are you asking us for money this way versus just spending what the state gives you. That's not how that works, right? So we created these videos, and it was a really fun evening of members of our committee and some of our student representatives that had come. So you'll see a lot of familiar faces and families included to try to teach you guys a little, or teach our community a little bit about how things go. You guys are here for the world premiere. Do you want to give
Welcome to the ABCs of school district funding. School district funding may seem complex, but here are the ABCs.
A.
Allocations from the state provide the foundation for daily operations, making up about 81% of core educational services.
B stands for Basic Enrichment Levy dollars provided by our community, make up over 11% of our total funding. These help maintain programs and staffing the state doesn't fully fund.
C makes up federal contributions, makes up about 4% of our funding. These are strict provide targeted support for school lunches, special education, and other student learning services.
Capital levy dollars pay for construction, major repairs, and improvements to school buildings, like replacing roofs, building secure entryways, and more.
Each part plays a different role, and together, these resources help keep our schools safe, supported, and focused on student learning.
In this video, you will hear from members of the Arlington School District Budget Advisory Task Force, or BAFT, about the improvements we have made using capital levy money our community has provided.
In Arlington schools, every safe space, every updated classroom, every secured entryway, replaced failing roof, and repainted exterior exists because our community believes in its students. Your support of our capital levy dollars helps us care for the buildings where learning happens every day. It ensures our students learn in a healthy, secure, and inspiring environment.
Your approval of the 2020 Capital Projects Levy funded projects like the addition of 8 classrooms at Arlington High School, including a manufacturing technology lab, providing space for robotics learning and specially designed spaces for students with special needs. In addition, the 2020 capital levy provided for the installation of secure entryways across the district, allowing staff to vet and register visitors before they enter instructional spaces.
The 2020 capital levy also provided funding for the Kent Prairie Elementary Safety Project, which addressed road congestion at the school. The project included adding a traffic safety queuing lane to help with the overflow and backup on the city street during school dismissal. This project supports safety for pedestrians and drivers during dismissal.
Your approval of the 2024 capital levy funded important projects to extend the useful life of several school buildings. Key projects included the replacement of roofs at Pioneer and President's Elementary and the new exterior painting of both schools. The Arlington High School roof will be replaced in the summer of 2026.
Arlington community, thank you for being true partners in public education. When we invest together, our students thrive and our entire community grows stronger. All students belong, learn, and thrive in Arlington. So there's 5,000 plus students, there's at least 5,000 plus parents and guardians out there. If we could get 1% of you, all right, that would be over 50 people to come down and be part of making these decisions, to provide input, to learn the process, and then you are part of paying it forward and educating our community about how all of this goes together. And once you know, then you can truly appreciate what's going on and you can participate rather than just basically expecting it to happen, because it's people that make it happen. And it's all of you that can come down and support and be part of the process. So I encourage everyone to be part. It doesn't take a lot of time. I guarantee you, you will spend less time here than you spend surfing the web or on your phone, right? It's truly, it's a couple hours. There's meetings every month, basically to come together and learn these great topics and then pay it forward and share with the other communities. So you go out into your organizations, your other meetings, your friends, your Facebook, whatever you're doing, and you educate people on how all of this goes together. So great. We're going to confirm our meeting dates for 26 and 27. I'm hoping we can actually maybe do a coexistence meeting with the board. So basically in like a workshop session, if you're already having a workshop anyway, maybe we can bring our group together and we can hear from you and you can hear from us as far as what we'd like to do. And again, we'll figure out how we're meeting. We have been doing in-person meetings. I think hybrid would be great so that we can try to include some more people. We know people are busy, but if you care about your kids and you care about the programs, you can afford to spend a few hours learning about how this magical thing that Arlington School District goes together and make it happen. Thank you.
Any questions from the board?
Just continue to think about how to do outreach to the community. I've mentioned this before, how Brian, we had the boards put out of here's your tax dollars at work, you know. So that's a bit passive, but it definitely gets that target of people coming into the school will see, oh my gosh, this makes some sense. But I think the more tangible you can make it, we call it the elevator speech, the more you can provide that elevator speech so that people can be, you know, in very layman's terms, these are the shortcomings, this is what the district's struggling with. How do we meet that? What is the, you know, how do my tax dollars actually go into the schools? What does that look like? You know, I would even think about a poster. I mean, you guys did some great speaking in that, but I wonder if we could format that in some graph or pie chart or something where you can say, you know, educate our public as well, especially when, you know, time for elections, even though things aren't up, but it's on people's mind more, right? So when you hit November and August, you know, those kind of things, I think having something visual would be great too. So anyway, I support great what you're doing. Just, it is hard to always understand how to get, right? Because it's sometimes easier to complain about things rather than being a part of a solution, which is, let's understand it. It's messy, but you can still be a part of understanding it. And then you can have a conversation with other people in our community. So we know that we're all in this. And as you said, I think we are the largest employer in the city. So yeah, it's good to know.
I was wondering, do you guys have some frequently asked questions that you get that you've got answers for that maybe we could have it on our website or something? Do you already have that? Do we already have something like that?
We have had some different things up there. Usually it's around when we are trying to make sure people have the information they need when we're.
When there's something on the back. Yeah.
Right. And just whenever else we're putting out like a news flash about what adopting the budget or anything, but we can always.
I wonder what questions people have.
Yeah, no, it's true. On the website, we do publish all of the presentation slides and the agendas from the BAFT meeting, so people can get it from there. But that could be a topic that we could work on next year, is what are some FAQs that we can put out as a committee.
Well, and I don't know how frequently people are on our website versus social media to get that information. So if it was posted onto like our Arlington Public Schools, this is the meeting. Yeah.
Or even like the pushing messages, like you're pushing and saying, we've updated such and such on,
And have a link, surely.
So what's the commitment if somebody wants to join the Budget Advisory Task Force? Is it a commitment of going to one meeting a month? Or is it a full year of meetings, or can people just come once and then be done?
We've had a variety of attendance throughout. There's been some that are consistent and some that are there for, kind of every other. It really just depends on what an individual time wise, but would hope to have consistent attendance because you're learning and some of the meetings do build upon each other. So the prior knowledge is kind of built up, but it's about a meeting. We have one a month starting in October. And then
for an hour.
Yeah, for about an hour. And we have done them over Zoom. We email out the presentations and we also post them on the website. So if you're part of that group, then you get those presentations as well. And it's kind of nice that way if you don't have time to attend and you're still also getting to be in the know by having those presentations and also the relationship to be able to ask questions. Where you might not otherwise have that kind of so.
I would say the other commitment is that you, in this role kind of serve as a communicator to the rest of the community, right? For someone that maybe wouldn't necessarily come to a board meeting to learn or contact one of you to understand why, when those questions come up, we can serve as kind of that communicator with some inside knowledge, if you will, of how things work.
Yes, I was gonna say, sometimes we've had people join because they had an issue. They had a problem. Where's all the money going? Did you guys spend it all on a swimming pool? What, why am I paying taxes and now you still need more money, right? And yet they came to the meetings, and by the time they got through our sessions, they were champions because they learned, oh, now I understand. Now I understand kind of how the process works. I understand how hard it is. I understand the challenges. Once you learn kind of what it is that's happening, you have appreciation for it, and then you're better able to communicate that and to learn not just for yourself, but to help other people that also started with all the same misconceptions you had about how it was being done. You can now say, yeah, I used to think that too, but actually here's the truth.
Yeah.
Cool. I was gonna say a couple things. I was saying about with Lakewood, we talk about key communicators. So Lakewood School District kind of gathers together and then they inform that group and then they go out. So I'm wondering, I don't know how robust your group is right now, but I was thinking key communicators, could you solicit people to participate, like city council members, Rotary members, who are the chunks of people in town, the Linda Burnses of town type of people, and have them on the group, because then they can go out where people, like you said, you can be an acolyte once you've been transformed and said, oh my goodness, now I understand. And then they go out, then you want to solicit that. And I also want to say, you sound like this group also is a bit of a frontline defense almost for the board in a way, because you're able to discern and parse through some of these questions and say, rather than just coming to the board and, you're blowing my money, you're wasting it, right? You guys can be like, here's the deal, here's the truth, and be a part of that conversation. So I think that certainly serves as a great first, a foray into finance and understanding.
So go with knowledge rather than awe. I mean, it's just, you need to learn first, then you can come in and now you can actually contribute. You can see the problems. You may still have issues, but at least you're not coming from a position of knowledge to understand what the other challenges are. And you didn't just cut this or you didn't just cut that, right? It was like, well, I had the choice of my right hand or my left hand. What would you have me do, right? Mm-hmm. So an appreciation for the hard discussions that we're having to have due to all of the financial constraints.
Right. Yeah.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Thank you for being involved.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Continuing to be involved. Yes.
Thank you for representing our community through all these tough times.
Yes.
Thank you.
I echo the thanks because I appreciate you guys and the energy and the positivity you bring. So thanks for coming and representing.
Thank you for
the
educating
budget
us.
advisor.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have our annual health room update, and we'd like to welcome up Krista Kramer, our district nurse. Come on down.
annual health room update, brought to you, data brought to you by our annual OSPI requirement for reporting the health room numbers to the state. So every year I come to you and do a quick update on things that are happening in our health rooms throughout the district. Numbers are holding very steady from years past. We haven't had, some numbers have gone up, a handful, some have gone down a handful, but nothing significant outside of our mental health diagnoses that we're made aware of, and that our numbers are just continue to be on the rise and have been on the rise for some time since COVID, right? And so just knowing how many students we have in the district, and that half of them, over half of them have health conditions. And you have to know that there's probably way more than that their families don't even let us know about. So these are just the students that we know about, and that 450, so we're talking about 8%, have life-threatening health conditions that our health room staff has to be aware of and have care plans on, and be able to treat. So next slide, please. So we continue to do our screenings for vision and hearing throughout the district. I just put some numbers. Before, we were on the rise, and we're holding steady with that too. But just the fact that when we're doing our vision referrals, we're referring a lot of students that are not passing the vision screen, and we've graduated past the old Snellen eye test, right, to now really fancy systems that we get help from the Lions Club, excuse me, and when we need to borrow machines. So I'll go out and do classes at the high school that need screenings for IEPs and things like that. We can check them out through our Northwest ESD, which is really great. So that's nice. Next slide. Our immunization out of compliance rates have been plummeting, which is just, I don't know, that's like a passion project for me, just to get either our students vaccinated or the paperwork in place if they have exemptions, like just that it's all in place for us. And right now we're at 19 district-wide. That's like unheard of. For us. So our building nurses and our registrars do a really nice job catching those as students enroll, and we get things in place before they start. So that's great. We have implemented in our district bleeding control kits, and we got these started last year. They're mounted above all our AED machines in the district, in our district buildings, and we had that going and implementing that, and then it became a law. So actually we were just a little bit ahead of ourselves on that with our bleeding control kits. And the next slide will show what they look like. What's required in a bleeding control kit and what they have. And so when we're checking off our AED machines monthly, we also take a look to make sure what we need is actually in there and ready to go. And then we also have, the law also states that you have to have 2 people trained in the building to be able to use these bleeding control kits, which we have done. And then our Northwest ESD, oddly enough, tomorrow is offering a class called Train the Trainer. And so they are training myself and one of the building nurses to be able to go out and train, so we don't have to have others come in as well. So that's a great opportunity, and it's free for us to be able to do that. So that's good. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm a baseball girl, so I just wanted to compare health room visits. Our health room visits just continue to skyrocket every single year. And when I printed the report on May 20th, we had 43,248 health room visits to our 9 health rooms in the district this year. T-Mobile Stadium holds 47,000 people. So that is a sold out players game right there of how many students, if you can even like look at all those little heads in there, just to kind of think about how big of a number that is for our nurses in the district to see in the health room, check in, assess, treat, contact parents, and then document on it, all in a day's work, which the school day really isn't very long, which you guys know. And so it's averaging about 4,000 to 5,000 office visits per month. We are on target to go above T-Mobile here by the end of the year. So, next slide, please. And then, once a year, our school nurse appreciation day is May 6th. And I got a chance to go out that day specifically to all the buildings and thank them always for what they do and bring them a little coffee of their choice or not coffee, whatever they wanted of their choice. And they are just a great group of people that are manning those health rooms for us every single day. And to all of our wonderful substitutes that are willing to do that as well. So that is the recap of the health rooms this year. Any questions? No.
Really happy about thank you for reporting everything and all the work that is done every day. But the bleed kits is really, I'm glad to see that. I did stop the bleed. I was training like 2 or 3 years ago and I was like, we need these in our schools. So thank you.
And some schools have been very open to say, come and train all our staff. We've trained staff, all of Weston High School staff. We've trained the groups of students, their health, the exact name, maybe Maddie can help me, of the Weston students, the health group. Class.
Oh, the health group. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That was, yeah. Forget that. HOSA?
Yeah.
Is it a HOSA?
Yeah, and yeah, we've done groups of them as well, so that's great. Yeah. The people are willing to do it, so.
I personally, as a teacher, I'm very cautious when I have kids. I'm like, can we try 30 minutes? Can we see how that problem might, dissipate? Because I just like, they don't know how many kids all go to a nurse.
That want to go.
To the nurse. And I'm like, you're not bleeding, barfing. Or like, I give my 3 Bs type of thing. And I'm like, if it's not that, we're here. We're good.
Yeah, and they appreciate that too. They
Yeah.
really appreciate the staff that are very willing to take the very small things on because the health groups are just slammed with sometimes very big things. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Krista. Incredible amount of work for our nurses everywhere. Do we need to take a tiny bio break before we move on? How's everybody feel about that? Any objections? Okay, we're gonna recess for 4 minutes. 3 minutes.
Okay.
So it's 7:31, we'll be back. Use your time wisely. I just don't drink any water.
No, I'm getting dehydrated. I'm
All day, so it's like.
Yeah, I haven't had anything since noon, so I'm good. You're gonna be dehydrated.
It's not time to go to the bathroom.
I want to get a picture of me at the door. 7:31. It's 7:28 currently on my watch.
Just from cold.
Yeah.
Cheers up when I get here. And I sit and I sit.
I don't have to. Okay, I will see you in the morning. Have you seen?
I know. Oh.
The board has now returned from their quick little recess and has resumed our regular meeting. Thank you for letting us have a little break. Next up is our financial highlights of our current budget. I would like to welcome back Gina Zudorf, our Executive Director of Financial Services. Welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back to the podium. Yes, thank you. Financial highlights of the current budget as of April. We've closed out the month of April, posted all the closing entries for April, and the detailed report is on the consent agenda along with enrollment numbers for all of the finances is for all of our funds. But when we talk in our board meeting out loud here, it is focused on general fund. So the financial positives, keeping these main points up in front of us, but I'll hone in on a few of the ones that you don't see every month, and that is around the special education safety net funds. We have an estimate of about $1.8 million worth of funding from safety net that we, once it works its way through the process, that we would expect to get. But we don't receive that until August. So I'll just point out that that is also a fatal flaw in some of how the state operations happen, at least for school districts, the impact, because that's $1.8 million worth of funds that we have spent all year long, and we will not be reimbursed in any way for that until August.
They could just make it June.
There's been some changes in the law that they're trying to go quarterly, but that hasn't been fully implemented yet. So the fund balance and OSPI indicator scores, we've talked about that off and on throughout the year. Won't go into that right now, but the other new thing on there is in regards to our state audit report. So the auditors just issued our financial and federal single audit report today. It was posted out for the public to have and discern, and we received a clean audit opinion for that. They are still finishing up the other component of the audit, which is an accountability audit. So that's still wrapping up, but good news is that the state audit report around our finances has, or the financial and the federal single audit is done. The financial challenges, we have not changed anything here other than updating that the enrollment reality is now at about 94 students less than what we budgeted. And because it's an average, it fluctuates all year long. And as we get to June, then that number will stabilize as far as exactly what it's going to be for the average. But that affects our revenues. And so that's about a $1.2 million worth less revenue than we had planned for at the start of the year. And as you know, we have had to do interfund loans for cash balance low points in previous years. June is another low point, and we are set to need to do, if we need to have an interfund loan, board authorization has been done for that through a board resolution. We have not yet had to access that for this year. So here's the fund balance trend that we look at each month. And our fund balance as of April month end is at 5.45 million. So we are cresting up at the April mark, as we typically do at this time of year. And that is because of the property tax collections that happen twice a year. So April is the next high point of that, and you can see that reflection there. So we are still eclipsing the previous 2 fiscal years. And that is a good thing. That shows progress, that we are rebuilding our fund balance. We are not done working yet, though. So this is where we're at for this fiscal year. And as we've talked about, we have a resolution that allows up to $2 million worth in capacity if we were to need to access that for June. My reports and projections at this time are leaning more towards way less than that. We will not need to utilize $2 million worth in June. It will be more like 500,000 or less. And so
that's also going in the right direction. And again, by the fiscal year end, any loan that we received will be fully repaid with interest before the fiscal year end close. And so what's next? Well, we're going to continue to be working on the 26-27 budget briefings that I'll be bringing to you and continuing to communicate about the reductions that we've had to make and things that we're doing to absorb so that we can continue to be financially solvent and continue to regrow our fund balance into an appropriate level where we will not need to be doing interfund loans, but still be able to provide the programs and services as we can. So are there any questions for the time being? Okay. That's where we're at.
Thank you. Next up is our 25-26 language access report, and we'd like to welcome Carl Olson, our Director of Categorical Programs. I hear you have some slides for us.
More slides, more end of the year updates. Can't get any better than this. Well, I'm Carl Olson, Director of Categorical Programs, and I'm just here to share some highlights from our, well, does it say mid-year report? Well, it should say end of year report for language access. No mid-year report. Sorry about that. I always want to highlight every year these people here who are interpreter tutors, fulfill a number of roles because they truly connect us. They are constantly working with families. They are connecting them with needs, with services even beyond our district. And I especially want to highlight Natalia Kushner, who, due to knowing Russian and Ukrainian, is able to pretty much connect with families in all buildings and does a wonderful job. So every time I do this, you're going to see these names. They do much more than we could ever imagine, and it's pretty amazing.
Well, there should be a clicker right over there, and you can advance your own slides if you'd like.
Thank you. All right. So we will be sharing with you these areas in terms of program review results, which I'll just jump into. We had a full program review this year in language access. Was reviewed under civil rights and came through with flying colors. So we're pretty excited to have the work we're doing being, analyzed and represented well. We'll talk some funding sources, the ongoing training that takes place, what we're hearing from families, world language test results, and early planning and initiatives. So highlights. We continue to be very thankful for Jordan Houston. If you don't know about him, he's at the high school. There you go. And he is did a lot of work with our American Sign Language kids. And he also works with some families and does our interpreting, which is huge. Helps with ongoing connections. It's someone familiar to them. He has all the certifications, which is a blessing in itself. We continue to update our language access plan, but also we totally revised our website. Gary Sable and I it's no longer, he left me, which is dangerous. But we revised that, have been working on translation with that. So definitely much better. Continue working with training requirements with really a wide variety of people. Continue to gain parent feedback. And we are finding less families are needing interpreters. It was interesting with our incoming kindergartners this year, only about half of the families needed interpreters, which is a big change and kind of one of our shifting dynamics as families are learning English or we're starting with second generation. The Apogee rooms and new messaging features for our families, if they have a preferred language, when Gary sends out a message, it now goes right into the language that is their preferred language, which is huge because then I'm not waking up and interpreting into Spanish and having my wife wake up to make sure I did it right. And so, which literally was our old way of interpreting snow, other conditions when he'd send early morning messages. So I appreciate that one. It's been working great. Hiring additional interpreting support. Mariana Zamora Santos, who used to work at Pioneer, currently doing some work for us at the high school, but also has been fulfilling the basic ed duty in many places of interpreting, which turned out to be quite necessary because we were pulling people away from student supports, which the grant really doesn't allow for, but trying to meet the needs of families. So that has been a wonderful new feature. We mentioned program review, which requires and looks at things like our training of our interpreter tutors. It looks at our overall program. How are we getting information from parents? So there's a number of components they checked. And then we piloted and are now for next year going to be working on training office staff on a new on-demand phone line interpreting, which can help both when someone calls in and you could do a three-way call, or also if someone walks in, you could get someone on the phone, a speaker phone, and it truly is quick. I mean, we've had people come in with Swahili and within 2 minutes, we've had a Swahili interpreter right there working with people. So even with some languages that are new to us, they'll say, oh, we get that all the time. Challenges, this is really a double-edged sword here because we are getting increasing diversity in languages. Again, that's also a celebration. I think it makes us richer to have this variety. We're continuing to find ways to meet the needs to fulfill special education requirements. Also having to do things like our first time with our in-house counselors, having to provide interpreting for those sessions once a week, and other services as we continue to branch out and meet those needs. The on-demand needs are always increasing. And a good example is what will be coming up in August. We may not have an interpreter on site when a family shows up to get help with registration, filling out paperwork, calling in. So that's why the high school was one of the earliest with the counseling office that we worked on starting to work with that new system, which fits with the registration process. We really want parents to be able to have what they need to get that started. And then funding for family English classes. Our grant funding continues to either, some cases go down or stabilize, but costs go up to be able to continue that. Quick review of our funding sources. Most of our staff are paid for out of what's called TBIP, the Transitional Bilingual Instructional Program. And technically, they should only be interpreting under that pay for something related to that program. And this is why we try to schedule many meetings outside the school day, do things when it's covered under basic ed or other funds such as number 2, Title III and Title I-A, which can be used for family engagement opportunities, parenting classes, things like that. It can also be used, Title I-A, we have a fund for McKinney-Vento families for interpreting, which starts right in August as we're trying to check on status and then throughout the year. Basic education funds and special education funds cover the bulk of what is needed. And then also ECAP and Apple. Every year we do a kindergarten registration event and bring people in, which really has helped a lot to get a jump start with kindergarten registration. We have interpreters on site then, and we usually enroll about 20, 25 kindergartners right there on site every March. Expenditures to date as of the end of April, as you see, it's over budget. This is one of those things Gina and I will be talking about frequently and keeping up because we know we just have to do it. And it's one of those services that we need to provide. And sometimes those costs can be because of like scheduling outside interpreters and the parents don't show up. This is why we have the phone system, because now, like for Swahili, if a parent doesn't show up, we maybe lose 2 minutes of time with someone waiting and that's it. Instead of having an interpreter drive up, wait, cancel, that is a minimum of $400 right there. So we've been able to reduce some costs or some risk by having some new services. With special education, it's a combination of IEP translation services. They are wonderful at working on making sure interpreters are available for IEP meetings, evaluation meetings, and all those requirements. Also, sometimes it's because during an evaluation with a student, we need an interpreter to help with that, to make sure the information we're getting is accurate. So there's definitely a lot of need there too. Training this year, we continue with ongoing training with our interpreter tutors. Our focus next year is going to be starting on talking about dealing with stress as an interpreter tutor and how do you navigate that. They are sometimes involved in some pretty sensitive, difficult conversations. And so how do we help alleviate that? They are also frequently a go-to person for things that really they shouldn't be. But because they're a familiar contact and they have the Google Voice number that the parent knows, they can get called frequently for things that really should be directed to someone else with an interpreter present. So we're working on some of those things too. Office trainings and updates. We just had our last one. Oh boy, it was just actually it was just last week. And working with registrars on requirements to make sure we have an accurate understanding of what languages are needed, introducing the phone line system, getting their questions, because they're frequently that first group to notice that, hey, we have a family that has some needs here. So keeping up to date with them. And then continuing with OSPI and their coordinator groups. I attend those too. Our family input, we actually have our surveys out right now in Russian, Spanish, and English. And so we're just beginning to get some input. I can tell you on first blush, what we are learning is that parents are feeling welcome. Parents are feeling like they understand what's happening with their students at school. Parents know about the world language assessment. We this year broke a record with 46 students getting credits for world language at the high school level. And we're graduating 26 students with the seal of biliteracy this year, which is more than ever. So that is a huge accomplishment, but we're also working from an early age on letting parents know, don't just push, we just want them to learn English, but trying to honor that first language the kids have, learn how to write, learn how to speak, listen, and read, because it will make a big difference for the trajectory of that student after high school. Mm-hmm. And so we're picking up a lot of momentum there, which is wonderful. Our interpreter tutors are great at sharing with me. Here's what we're hearing from parents. Here's what they need, as well as from their perspective. And I would say what I've heard even as recent as today, their number one concern is, again, the parents or even staff using them as a messenger instead of as the interpreter, which can put the interpreters in a difficult spot when they're feeling like they're going in between instead of all people right there, which also fits with the staff input. So future planning, we have been this year and we'll continue some advanced planning for key family and student events. We always do a great job, I think, with enough people for conferences, extra people, especially for high school. But this year we also made sure we had interpreters for events like, Eagle Days and fly-ins and those things, including having the interpreter from the middle school be present at the 9th grade time. So they were there along with another person to help introduce the family to the school. In fact, I kind of felt sorry for one family because 4 of us kind of converged all at once. So it was maybe a little bit much, but it worked. And so it was helpful for them to be welcome. Continued training for office staff on the phone system, getting the parent guardian English class going again, developing a parent advisory group, hearing from them what they need, having that face-to-face contact, not just through surveys, the new website and apps promotion. So keep working with families on how to translate that information, how to sign up for rooms so they can get that translated back and forth. And then the continued billing needs for interpreters. As many of you know, Marta, she is retiring this year, but she's already said she'd be happy to help it, because I just tell people that they're never going to get away. So she will continue as one of those people to help fulfill some of these needs, which will be great for family continuity too, because she knows. I wonder if that's it. Oh, there we go. Questions.
What is the protocol for interpreters when they do get those calls, if it's like family in crisis or sensitive topics?
So what I'm going to be working with them more, because we talk about this a lot, is as soon as possible, it's kind of doing that timeout and getting them to the person so they can switch to the interpreter role. So it's moving away from, like, frequently they may get a Google Voice or someone will catch them at the door and they feel pressure to be there, hear everything, answer questions, or go off by themselves instead of saying, we need to make an appointment, or why don't you come with me? We will go find someone to answer your question. So that is something that not only will take place in my work with them, but it is something I'm going to add with more clarity for the opening day all staff when I share some information. Because that seems to be one of the biggest parts of stress. They don't want to feel like they're letting someone down. And they don't want to feel like, in the case of an emergency, the parents don't have it. Yeah, so it's a great question. That came up with one person just today. So. Questions?
I was going to ask about that new program that you're using. Is it like a screen or is it like a phone? Because I know you have ASL, so how does that work with ASL? TTY?
Yeah, for that, it's a phone. For ASL, it would be that, or, I mean, definitely I would check with Jordan, but also if we need to, we do have a service that can do that. Because we can't expect Jordan to own the speaker.
Yeah, right.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next up is our proposed board meeting schedule and professional development opportunities for 26-27. Dr. Sweeting.
So this is a discussion or a briefing, and it's in looking towards, and this is kind of paired with the next item to H, the first reading of 1400. But this is our regular format of how we would publish, of saying when our board meetings are. The top part where you see the first red, it's April. And this year was really challenging with our one board meeting that we had in April. And it was it was on April 27th. And that was challenging for field trips and all kinds of things. So this proposes that if we stay with one board meeting, which that's okay because we have spring break in there. But if we stay with one, that it'd be the third Wednesday or the third Monday, excuse me, of the month. So that would be a change. And we're not voting on that tonight. It's just, sharing that. But then in the next agenda item, it also would have to be changed in multiple places. And then let's see the other, I don't know, let me see.
We have some red ones.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Somebody do it. Look it up. Oh, wait, maybe I can see it. So the next one, it talks about, the first part is just that it'll be held in person. And then it talks about we've talked about this already before, but with the option to attend remotely via Zoom. And then it talks about how the recording, instead of the live stream that would be available, it's recorded, but it'll be available the next day. So it's changing just really what we're doing right now. Correct, Brenda?
Are we moving away from live streaming yet?
Well, this is a live stream on Zoom right now. We just can't live stream it on YouTube as well at the same time. So they can attend remotely via Zoom.
Okay.
Or watch it on YouTube the next day because we'll upload it.
It's just there's
technological.
It's just a different link to click.
So is there any more red on this document? Okay, so basically in April be the third week instead of the fourth.
It's like the 19th or something.
Right, it's in the middle, at least it's better than at the very, and then it's not right after spring break. That's how. So that's, you're just to be thinking about.
And then next is the first reading of board policy 1400.
And what's in this is putting that July, the only thing.
Oh, did you?
Oh, whoops.
We kind of missed
Oh,
the
there's a-
workshops.
Oh, so the other document that's attached to this has all the dates. The only thing, can you scroll down one more time? This has the study sessions, but where's the workshop for the August?
It's like August 16, it was right out there.
Okay, so I was just gonna bring up to the board that this summer, there is a conflict for the August 17, which has already been approved by the board, but I would like to propose that we do August 15, which is, I think it's 15 or 14, it's a Friday of that week.
Oh,
it's
27, that's a lot.
Or the-
The next week,
So the
or,
14th.
yeah, 15?
Whatever that Friday is.
15th is a Saturday.
It's a 14th.
14, yeah, that we would move and I will bring it to the board to officially change that, but, any discussion about that?
Yeah, the district mandated training that week, so.
Yeah, you have to go to that.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, so that this just reminded me of
So
it. The rest-
everybody will check their calendar and we'll vote on this.
We'll bring it
next
back.
meeting.
And then the rest of this document just lists out, for next year, like the WASDA conference. It actually puts in the required WASDA training, and it just lists all that information. And also lists the national conference, which we usually don't go to, but this will approve at a later time, but it's just out here for your reference. Thank you, Oscar, for showing that. But I think we can go to the next document, which is policy 1400. And I believe that the only change are related to what we just saw. So it's really hard to see on there, but if you go to April, that the second
Third
bullet,
Monday.
I think it's A under regular meetings, it's got a third. It's got the fourth crossed off right there. Thanks. And then down below, the next red is just the same kind of wording where we talk about the option to attend board meetings remotely. It'll be available via Zoom, and it'll be uploaded the following day. So these two things would be in alignment. This is first readings, and we're not voting on this tonight. Any questions or suggestions? We're good? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. That brings us to our informational item. First reading, we're going to start with your superintendent report.
So last week, I think Mary attended as well, but we did the ribbon cutting for the pickleball courts at Howler. It was pretty impressive. The court. It's just really good. So excited about that opportunity for our students and for our community. Then this week, we've got state track. We have from Arlington High School group going this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Mountain Tahoma High School in Tacoma. And I think Mr. DeYoung will be there for that, right? Mr. DeYoung. And then on Friday, I went to the cabaret, which was at the VPAC with Flight and Erie, and it was just like spectacular. It was so good. I think it was one of the best. And then I already mentioned this was the parent group that we had a well-attended community voices with the parents, with Sundays with the superintendent. So I guess bottom line is food talks. And listens. That's it.
All right, next up is our legislative update and discussion. Kelly, anything?
Not much to add, other than I did send an update to Dr. Sweeting and Marilee regarding Susan Dalbene is offering an option for, I would say, I think it's high school seniors, but high school students to apply to be on her advocacy group. And it's an inaugural year. It's the first time she's doing it. I believe the applications open May 21st and they go until I think July 3rd. So not a real long window. I would like Arlington to be represented. I think we have obviously strong advocates here. And you would be but you're graduating, so you're going on other things, but just I'd like to do this. I'd like to see who that is. So I'm not sure. I sent it to Marley. So that I would say. And I listened to a great NPR piece last week. I think it's Ben Schuldener is the superintendent for Seattle Public Schools, which is the largest district in the state. And I think if anyone can move the needle for the ledge to listen, it's this man, because he was talking about school funding and it's not working. So I'm going to re-listen to it, maybe get a transcript of it. But I feel like his energy, and he's new and he's facing a very like $100 million maybe, very, very large deficit. And curious to see how he navigates that. I feel like he's listening. He's been to, in his first 100 days, been to all the schools in his district. So yeah, I think it seems a bit of a powerhouse. Just interested to watch how he's navigating that. And I know people on the different boards down there. So I think we need some of the energy coming from the schools, and he's newer. So I'd be curious how he could help. I think people can rally behind that when and he's got the size of a school for the legislature to listen to. So anyway, it was just very interesting listening to him speak. But yeah, nothing too new, just kind of laying low.
Thank you, Sherry.
Yeah.
And next up, I want to hear from all the board members. I'm going to start with our student advisors. Maddie, do you want to go first?
Yeah. I don't have much to say, but thanks to everyone who presented tonight. Thanks for keeping us updated. It's about I loved hearing the ukulele club. It was amazing. I love music so much. It's really one of my passions, and seeing young kids do it and have a club at their school to play, it's really, really awesome. Getting closer to graduation, I think I only have like 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks left. I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm speaking at my graduation, so I'm a little nervous. But I know it's gonna be lots of tears on the stage, but it's gonna be heartwarming. I had my first rodeo this weekend with horses. I had one, but we didn't bring horses to that one. But this one, I went to the Miho Valley Rodeo in Winthrop. It was really fun, pretty hot. I go back Labor Day for their second rodeo. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm doing right now.
Sounds good.
Alex, what do you have to share with us tonight?
My little notes. I said, thank you to the tribe. It was really fun to hear their song, and as well as see how big the fourth grade field trip is going, because I remember going on that and I loved it. As well as seeing how much SAC has grown, and seeing kind of sad my seniors are leaving. Kind of sucks, but I'm excited to see what the growth next year, and I have many ideas. I will be emailing a lot over the summer. And then recently got elected as president for My Skills USA Washington. And I fly out Friday to go represent our school in Washington and Atlanta for about 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. So you'll be gone for the next 2 or
I'm gone for like a week and a half. It's a lot. It's very exciting.
Yes.
Very long week. Very humid. Yes. Yes. That's my little update.
Thank you, Alex. We're so proud of you.
Yes, congratulations.
Sherry, anything else you'd like to add?
No, just counting down those days. Just keeping everybody reined in a little like herding cats. It's like, we can do this. I told, we are going, friends. We are going strong. We are finishing together. So yeah, it's all good. I mean, I'm kind of sad. I feel like I've been really blessed with a really good group of kids. They tend to be, as a group, a little higher. So we've been able to do a little more. So hopefully I've challenged them enough. But just a really sweet bunch, and they will walk away knowing more about the ocean than they showed up in September. So my mission is good.
Very cool. Director Diamond, anything you'd like to share?
No, it was really cool. The kids and the ukuleles tonight. That's always makes me smile. Thanks for the presentations from everyone. That's a lot. Yeah, that's all I got.
Director Watts.
So from our meeting today, the parents that just volunteer at all the things, whether it's to put on a show for Flight, the graduation planning group, I got to hear an earful from some parents that are having graduates and all the stuff they're trying to get done and planned and all of that. So it takes a lot of involvement and outside help for some of these programs to run. So thank you to those parents. Talking about the district races, we had an Arlington sophomore get first place in the 3,200 at 9 minutes and 13 seconds, which was so fast. I'm so excited to watch him for the next 2 years, but to see, follow him. I follow all of them on AthleticNet. So, and some girls did really amazing, got some great PRs. Just really cool. So in-state's an exciting time. Cabaret, Adam Johnson and Cole Hubbard did a duet together that actually brought tears to my eyes and goosebumps. It was just so incredible. I could have watched it a million times. I'm not going to say they're the best because my son and Nathan, but a very close second. And then the girls did the My Heart Will Go On, which was a funny little twist, even though it's such a serious romantic Titanic song. Prom is coming. And then so excited to see Nathan in our audience and get a picture with our mural after this. So we've been Mary's been working really hard at
Mary, every chance she gets, she's down here. We have to drag her back.
We have to drag her saying it's time. Let's go. So, and excited Maddie's getting the countdown. It's kind of sad to see her go soon. So
Glad you're gonna speak. That'll be fun.
yeah, I can't wait to see it. I bet your mom's gonna cry too.
Yeah. Not yet. Give me the whole box. We're gonna have the box.
Yeah.
Thank you, Director Watts. Director Nat.
I just am in awe of all of the reports that we got tonight, the study session, all the SIPs, the school improvement plans, and all of these groups, from I love the ukuleles, but the tribe and honoring the students. And I just continue to be impressed and inspired by all the community involvement. And I loved what Mr. Rawson was saying about we need more involvement. And I would love to see that grow in all the committees. But definitely this week, parents have been on my mind because, it's nearing the end of the year and those parent groups and seeing all the work that they put in volunteering, that unpaid labor throughout the year, and it continues all the way till the end. I'm definitely looking forward to graduation. And so you're saying we need to bring tissues to your speech. And then on your second rodeo, you're going to say, this is not my first rodeo.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No, I mean, I will say, I'm agreeing with you. It's like, no, it's not.
You're right, exactly. But yeah, definitely grateful.
Thank you for sharing. I wanted to share that I have a graduate coming up that he's going to pass his classes, whether he likes it or not. And we're counting down how many more days he has to wake up and go to school, because that's what he cares about, is having to go to school. He loves school, but just doesn't like getting up lately. So I'm a little emotional thinking about my kid, my last baby, graduating from high school. It's such a wonderful place to be and to raise a family in Arlington in our schools. And it's been such an honor and a privilege to have so many people support him through his journey. And it's been a long journey and sometimes frustrating and hard, as all parents can probably say. It's been hard, but it's been worth it. And it's pretty great to have him almost to the finish line. I was able to watch the Memorial Day parade where the ROTC and the Scouts and the band and so many different parts of our community came together to share that Memorial Day experience, and just seeing those kids work so hard and perform so well that it just brings tears to your eyes when you hear taps in the cemetery, looking at all the flags blowing in the wind. And it's quite moving and powerful how important music is to our daily experience in this world. And then I was able to go with the band to a different sort of parade last week, 2 weeks ago, to the Kitsap. No, what was it? Paulsbo Viking Fest, and where it was just way more fun and silly, and I got to be a chaperone and just see our kids in action up close, and just so impressed with our band director and the level of detail that he has to have attention to keep all those kids where they're supposed to be at whatever time they're supposed to be, and just the communication that goes along with that, and the inspiration and motivation that he provides to our kids so that they can reach that higher level. And I think a lot of teachers do the exact same thing. Just I'm not invited to chaperone like English class. So that would be fun though. We should chaperone. But I also got to go to the Sundays with the Sioux last week and see our parent groups and our PTAs and rub shoulders with such incredible volunteers in our community that are very much in the know of what's going on at the school level and in our communities, and they have their ears to the ground and they're hearing what people are saying and they're asking the right kinds of questions, and they're just such an important part of our school experience for our kids. And I just want to say thank you publicly to all of our volunteers across our district that make our district a better place. It's such a team effort. We cannot do this without everybody participating. I wanted to remind everybody about our next meeting. We have a special meeting on June 2nd, next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Very short agenda, right here in the boardroom. And then we have a study session on June 8th at 4 p.m. in the Lincoln Room, and then the regular meeting at 6 p.m. in the boardroom. And then we have graduation after that same week, and it's just going to be an awesome experience. And with that, I'm going to read my executive session script. We will now recess this meeting so that the board may convene in an executive session to review the performance of an employee. I estimate the executive session will last approximately 30 minutes, during which time no final action will be taken. Following the executive session, this meeting will be reconvened for the sole purpose of adjournment. My watch says it is 8:14. And so if I add 30, then it's 8:44, correct? My mapping is wrong. Okay, so we are recessing. Good evening and welcome back. We have returned from the executive session for the sole purpose of adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. It has been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Watts to adjourn this meeting. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts. Aye. President Levesque.
Yes.
Director. Yes. Meeting's adjourned.